We good.
Yes, sir. Hey, man.
Yeah,
Part of my
boy.
wisdom podcast, my boy.
It's
The
been a
part
while,
of
ain't
my
it?
wisdom podcast is here, man.
It's here. It's here. Long time coming, my guy. What's been, what,
How long?
7 years we talked about it
7
with
years
others
we talked about it.
individuals, and then finally we said, let's do it.
Finally, we said let's just go ahead and fucking do it. So, man, I think that deserves
A hand clap.
a huge round of applause, my
Huge
boy.
round of applause.
I
All
think
right,
that
man.
deserves
Let's
a
see.
huge round of
Let's
applause.
see
Go
what we
ahead
can
and
do
see.
here.
Yeah, that deserves. Because look, we need to pat ourselves on the back. Round of applause, you know what I'm saying? All that. Because we've been trying to do this for the longest, man. And we
Yeah.
finally got to a point where we could actually do it. So it's a major milestone for us, my boy.
Yeah, man. You know, it's a major milestone for both of us, especially for me. I'm going to say because, you know, I'm stepping out my comfort zone with this, doing something, exposing myself, which I don't like to do, but it is what it is. But
Right,
yeah,
right.
man, welcome to Pardon My Wisdom podcast, the genesis of something good, something major that we hope that you'll go on a ride with us and enjoy what we have to talk about on a week basis.
For sure,
The premises of this podcast is going to be talking about sports for the bulk of it, current events, and a little bit of relationships.
And media.
And media. Yeah, well,
yeah.
that falls with current events, right?
True shit.
Yeah. But just to introduce myself, I am Delon. D-Lo is what they call me. From Fayetteville, North Carolina, 26. And
Yes,
I'm joined by my co-host, my boy Sticks.
Yes, sir.
What up, Sticks?
Sticks. My
Introduce
name is
yourself, my
Charles,
boy.
AKA Sticks is what everybody call me. I'm also from 26 and you feel me, Fayetteville, North Carolina. Tell a little bit about yourself, Delon. It's a couple of things you've done, and you know how we've gotten to this point now through your 37 years of life, my man.
Dang, my man, you just
talk
gonna
about
tell my
yourself a little
age
bit.
like that? That's crazy.
Hey, I'm 37. Hey, listen, I'm 37 too. We
That's
both
crazy. Yeah, nah. But a little bit about me is, as I mentioned earlier, from Fayetteville, North Carolina. Went to school, played football in college, Wake Forest University. Football didn't work out for me. I was not good enough. So,
Hey, that's BS audience. That's BS audience.
nah. Hey, we gonna keep it real. We're not gonna sugarcoat anything. I wasn't good enough. So football didn't work out for me, and so now I am in the corporate world working for a pretty big company that I won't mention, but doing well for myself.
CRM company, right?
Oh, you ain't gotta say all that, but yeah, a pretty big company and doing well for myself. Married, 2 beautiful kids, loving life. What about you, Sticks?
Well, me, same thing. For those of y'all that didn't know, me and Delon went to high school together. I was his quarterback. He was my receiver in football. Quarterback
Boss.
took a facts, but went to school. The best black college in the land, North Carolina Central University.
Yo, did they win last night?
Yeah, they did. 28-13. 28-13
Okay.
over A&T.
Okay.
Yep. I watched the game. I watched it from my office at work, and I watched the rest of it right here on TV. But come on, bro, are you serious?
We got to edit that out.
But good, have to. But but yeah, went to North Carolina Central University. They beat the Aggies last night, 28-13. Congrats to them. Played football there all 4 years. Played basketball a couple of years too. Ended up winning a couple of championships there. Went to the NFL for a brief stint. Had an injury, hamstring injury, and I wasn't good enough either, to be honest. So it is
You see what I'm saying? So part of his story is he went to the NFL. I didn't even get a chance to go to the NFL. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I said I'm not good enough. I could have faced the facts that that's not the case. But
listen, if I was good enough though, if I was good enough in that sense, after that hamstring injury that I had, they would have kept me if I was good enough. But
yeah.
apparently.
Hey man, it's a business at the end of the day, and we'll get into
my
that
draft
for
story
sure.
later. We'll get into my draft story. Did you hear about? I told you that story, right, Delon? My draft day story. Did I tell you that story?
Nah, yeah, you have to tell that story another time.
I have to tell that story another time. That's gonna make you mad. I ain't gonna lie. That story gonna
Okay.
make you mad, bro. But
Okay. Yeah, I can't wait to hear that.
I did. I didn't get drafted. I should have been drafted, but that's in the story.
Yep.
And yeah, didn't pan out like I wanted to. Tried to go back a couple of times, but they kept telling me I was too old at some point. So I was like, what the fuck? But, yeah. But now, I sell cars, enterprise car sales, and I'm making doing well for myself as well. And got a 15-year-old little girl, and she means the world to me. So that's a little bit about me.
That's what's up. Shout out to all the fathers out there, all the mothers out there.
Sure. Shout out to
Love on your kids. Treat them the best as you can. And
for sure.
let's get into it though, man. We enough about us. Let's get into it. Talking about college football. First ever topic of Pardon My Wisdom. We're gonna talk about Manti Te'o. A story that's transcending of sports and media and all that good stuff. If you're not familiar with the story, 2012, Manti Te'o went through a whole ordeal where he got catfished.
He got catfished. Online dating was a little bit different back in the day than it is now, but it was a lot easier to get catfished back in the day. Might be a little bit easier to get catfished now. What you think?
Yeah, I think it's a lot of deep fakes and stuff like that out there now with technology and all that. So yes, I think it may be easier to get catfished now
than it is before. True,
but it's a little bit of naivety, if I said that right. Yeah,
naivety, I think. Yeah,
whatever. We know what we're trying to say. So it's a little bit of that going on early in the online dating scene. And Manti Te'o definitely fell for it. So story that we're talking about and where this originates from is if you have Netflix, which everybody does, it's a documentary on it called The Girlfriend Who Doesn't Exist.
The Girlfriend Who Doesn't Exist.
And it really goes into depth about what happened to Manti Te'o. And I'm kind of torn about this, bro, because it was a lot to take in with this documentary. At first, the first episode made me feel like, man, this dude was really gullible. But then and he's a good dude, right? He's just he's a all around really good dude.
God-fearing guy, amazing character. He has an amazing character, bro. Character.
Yeah, by far top notch guy. I can't. It's somebody that I would want to be a friend with, right?
For sure.
But at the end of the day, the first episode made me feel like this dude was really gullible. But then that second episode came around, and I'm like, yo, oh boy, who was a girl now.
Who's a girl now. Facts.
And so we gonna say what it is. She was really elaborate in everything she was doing, and
very much so.
And if I was the only person, if I was Manti Te'o, I think I would probably got too, honestly.
Facts, because she went through a lot to keep that story going, bro. Like, was befriending his friends, was talking to some of the homies, and then she was having him go back and tell Manti, well, yeah, I dated, but I didn't. It was like, whatever. We just spoke a little bit. It wasn't like that. Like, he went through a whole lot to have like mutual friends and all. It was like, bro, he did it's going to be kind of crazy for me saying this, but he did a really good job of putting that fake person together, bro.
For sure.
And he, like you said, I probably would have been like, oh yeah, she kind of dope. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would have probably got too. But it's like you said, it's a certain part of like the naivety that goes into it. That's like, bro, like you have to figure out a way to see this person. And if it's getting, go ahead.
Nah, you go ahead. Finish your thought.
Like, if it's getting to a point where it's a year into this relationship and y'all spoken on the phone, but you haven't seen her, haven't had any plans to meet, haven't had any FaceTime, Skype, whatever kind of FaceTime calls or Facebook video calls or whatever. You have to be like, okay, something is fishy, bro. Like, I wouldn't have let this go on as long as it did, my dog. Like, me personally, but that's just me.
Yeah, for sure. Well, let's talk about the backstory first of who Manti Te'o is for the people that don't know. So Manti Te'o was a big college football star that played for Notre Dame from 2000 2009 to 2012 or 2008 to 2012. Middle linebacker, and from Hawaii, I think, is it Samoan, Pacific Islander? Samoan. Yep. All right. And the girl that he ended up getting in a relationship with, he was also perceived to be Samoan. Same traits as Manti Te'o. And I forgot how they connected the fake girl, but it just stuck.
So in the sense of that, the way they connected was the girl, which the trans, of course, was also a guy who was also an athlete.
Right, okay, right, for sure.
Right, and he saw Manti all over the news and all over ESPN, Sports Center, is all over the media, and he was in the closet initially, of course, and always thought, well, hey, I don't know if I want to come out yet. So, but I know that I am attracted to guys. I'm just going to create this false, this false character, and Manti is the type of guy that I would see myself with. So he created the fake profile and reached out to Manti, and that's how they got in contact with Manti.
Right. Yeah. So that's what opens up a whole can of worms for me, and all these different thoughts go on in my head. Like, first off, you're Manti Te'o.
Right.
You're talking to a girl online the perceived girl online for almost 2 years. Mm-hmm. So before the actual season where he got caught catfishing, he had been talking to her, and the girl does not want to come see you. You're Manti Te'o.
Facts.
You know what I mean? You're Manti Te'o. What girl that you're talking to online is not going to say, yes, I will come.
Would be glad to come.
I'll be glad to be seen with you because of who you are. I'm not. This is
real.
Not a podcast to bash women. I just want to get that out of here. It's not a podcast for that. But women love status.
For sure.
And he definitely had it during that time. And so to be talking to somebody that always had an excuse to not see you, red flag number one.
Red flag number one.
Number two of all the thoughts and emotions that came to my head was your friends, your football teammates, your boy that you called your brother. I think his name was like Robert Tomei.
Forget his name. I honestly forget his name.
White dude, though. I think he was white.
White dude. Yeah. White dude, yeah.
He don't say nothing. Your mom and dad don't say nothing until it's like, it's just so many thoughts that came in my head when they all play their part.
That comes back to him being just naive as hell, bro, because there's no way that if you're talking this girl up, like you showing pictures to your homeboys, your family, you know what I'm saying? Like, you are Manti Te'o, the biggest football star in the nation at this point. And this woman who can see, you know what, I'm not even gonna say that. This woman who can see this perceived status of you on TV every single Saturday is making excuses not to come see you, bro. Like, there's no way. Like, somebody had either you can say it to yourself in your head, like, okay, something's fishy, or if you've been talking this girl up, your homeboys or your family's gonna be like, yo, like, something ain't right about that.
And that's what I was trying to get at, right? Like,
right.
At some point in time, somebody that's close to you or that even is in your circle has to say, yo, bro, and you ain't seen her yet?
Facts.
Come on, dog.
That's crazy. Because even just use it like, just using me as example, right? At Central, I was that guy.
Yeah.
And even women, small town college like Central, not even talking about Notre Dame, who's on the national stage every single Saturday.
Every Saturday.
A small time school like Central, a D2 school, women would love to be seen on campus with me.
Right.
Period.
100.
Football star, basketball star, like, people, the women be like, oh shit, that sticks type shit. Like, but Manti, I was nowhere close to the standards of Manti Te'o.
Manti Te'o.
She don't want to see Manti Te'o. Come on, bro. If I was, he had yes men around him, bro. He had to. He had a bunch of yes men around him.
And that's what I'm getting at, Sticks, is how do you, as your boy, like if me and you, we live far apart now, but when we were around each other all the time, we used to say, yo, look at this chick, yo, look at this chick, right?
Facts.
If at any point in time I felt like you were getting serious with some chick, some woman, some beautiful young lady, let's dress that up.
Beautiful women. Right.
So if at any point in time I felt like you were getting serious with some chick, some beautiful young lady, I gotta stop saying chick, and you showing me conversations y'all having, you showing me pictures of her, you showing me or let me hear voice messages, or I even talked to her. That's what was that we getting that to in a minute, but that's what's crazy about
facts.
this shit too. But you even let me talk to her. At some point in time, I'm gonna say, so when she coming to see you, have you seen her? Have you FaceTimed her? Even back then, because FaceTime came out on Apple in 2009.
Yep, and it was prevalent because this was going on for a minute, bro. Like, go ahead, finish your part.
Yeah, but even if you don't have, even if she didn't have FaceTime, she didn't have an Apple product. Skype was around back then, So it's just somebody
AOL Video Messenger was out.
Yes, I don't blame just Manti, because all of the stuff going on that Renaya was doing, and him again being the good guy that he is. I guess I can see how he got caught up in all of that, and him being focused on football, which they brought up too, is he was really focused on football, and Renaya played to that as well. Listen, I know you got this going on, I know you got that going on. Even still, if I'm Manti's boy, I'm in his ear, bro, this chick is not real. I don't care what you say. You ain't seen her. She ain't shared any FaceTime. All you've gotten is some voicemails and a couple of calls. That's it.
That's it. Oh. That's it. And the crazy thing is the show Catfish was prevalent around this time too.
Right. And he said he didn't know what catfishing was until after all of this came out in the media. And that's what he said, bro. He said he did not know what catfishing was until all of this came out, how it came out, and somebody said, yo, you got catfished. And so...
See, he had to be under a rock for him not to see the show itself.
It seemed like everybody in this whole situation was under a rock. His family, his friends, the girl that the pictures were actually taken from, she was under a rock. It's crazy, bro. It's crazy.
That whole thing is crazy because it's like he had to, just like to your point, he had to have somebody around him, like, but he couldn't have had somebody around him.
He didn't.
You have to see her. You have to see her. She keeps coming up with excuses after excuse after excuse. And I would have made the point to Manti, like, bro, you're Manti fucking Te'o.
Manti Te'o.
You're worried about this chick that keeps making excuses not to see you when you can go outside on campus and find a chick, what I'm saying? Notre Dame, like, you can go outside on campus and find a chick right here that would be glad to be around you every day. But you got this chick online that you're falling in love with that don't even want to see you, bruh. Let it go.
So let's get into that. Let's dive a little bit deeper into that. So Renaya is at the time it was a he when all of this was going on. Now he has transitioned. I believe he transitioned.
He fully transitioned, I believe. I'm not mistaken.
So she transitioned into. Her name is still Renaya, but she says Naya, right? Bro, so elaborate in everything she was doing at the time. You mentioned some of it earlier, befriending some of his friends, having quick conversations with them, having 2 phones so he can call 2 and 3 phones so he can call Manti in different voices. This is crazy. In different voices. As what was the girl's name? Lene. The girl that Manti was, yes, it was Lene Kakio or something like that.
Gotcha.
The girl and that's the girl that Manti was supposedly in a relationship with.
Okay, Lene, yeah.
So he was calling as Lene's brother, cousin, I think mother or aunt or something like that.
At some point, yep.
It's just like, what? Is it that serious? Like, this is catfishing 1,000, bro.
Bro, he was platinum level
Yes.
catfishing, bro.
I read somewhere it said Renaya needs their own Disney show with all of the different characters that he played and voices that she played. I'm sorry.
Needs her own joint because she had the level of skill that she had to pull all of this off, and the level of patience that she had to have to pull all of this off, to be able to have this fake profile, have these 2 and 3 phones, manage all of these things with just Manti himself, and not to and even if it was, I can't say this 100%, but even if it was just Manti, what if she had multiple dudes she was doing this with if Manti didn't work out? What if she had another guy, another couple of guys that she was catfishing as well, type of thing? You know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying it takes a level of, I don't even want to call it expertise that she had.
No, that was expertise, bro. She was top notch, mastermind.
Top notch.
Mastermind.
But it's crazy how elaborate this whole story was from Renaya, bro. It was crazy.
Yes.
It's crazy.
Yes. So you mentioned that she may have had other people in the beginning when they started telling this story. Renaya was mentioning how she created the Facebook profile and was befriending all of these people, all of these men, and started talking to some, but it just so happened that Manti stuck, and they started to have a great relationship. And she said that with others, it got to a point where they wanted to see her, and she would end it and disappear. But with Manti, it was different, and it's like I don't know, man. I'm so confused and
man,
torn with, is this guy Manti Te'o just that gullible and that good of a guy, or is this person just so much of a mastermind that it's
probably a combination of the two, because I believe that Manti Te'o is the type of guy who sees the good in everyone.
Yeah,
he's that type of guy. He has that character. He sees the good in everybody. He believes that, he's the type of guy who's going to give you benefit of the doubt 100% of the time, every time. And the fact that he let this go on so long proves that. Right. You know what I'm saying? He rarely ever questioned the reasons why Renaya couldn't see him. Or why she couldn't talk at a certain time, why she couldn't come visit, why she couldn't FaceTime, why she couldn't do these video chats. Like, he rarely questioned it. He just let it go. Because, I mean, of course he had his focus on football.
Yeah, I was about to say, he had all of that going on too.
He had all that going on with himself too. But it's like, if you claim that you're in love with a woman, and this woman is telling you that she is also in love with you, at some point, to make that love connect even further, you have to meet with this person or see this person, no matter how far away this person is. You have the technology to do it.
So let me ask you this question. Let me ask you this question.
What up?
And it's going to take us off topic real quick, but it ties into our podcast as a whole, because we talk about sports, we talk about media, we talk about current events, and we talk about relationships. Is that just a man thing, that you have to see somebody in a certain amount of time in order to make the relationship keep moving forward?
Nah, I think that's a human nature thing, bro, to be honest, because you can't say, at some point both parties are going to want to meet up with the other person that they've been talking to online and they're building this relationship with and this rapport with and this love for. At some point, I believe both parties, man and woman, are going to want to eventually see each other and meet each other, touch each other, embrace each other, feel each other type shit. You know what I'm talking about? I'm with you. So it's like, I think that's a human nature thing. I don't think it's just a man thing. What side are you on that?
No, I agree to a certain degree. The reason I asked, and the follow-up question I was going to ask with that is, how long is it?
I don't think there's a time limit.
So, okay.
And so with that being said, I guess going into your leading statement would be, well, how do we know a year or so is long enough for Manti or Renaya?
Yeah, but what I was going to say, and again, still keeping us off topic, is for a man, how long is the wait for a woman, how long is the wait? And I guess we can't speak on the woman's part,
women. Right?
but for us, if we're talking to somebody that is far distance, I can't really say much about it now. But in my heyday, I did have a couple of online relationships, and this documentary made me be like, damn, was I ever catfished? And
I've never been catfished a day in my life, bro.
So my college roommate, who is my brother as well, me and him were online dating gurus. He was way better than me, but so
give yourself some credit, bro. You was
no. Yeah, but I'm saying this man,
yeah,
top tier player from the Himalayas.
Got you.
No, different area code type joint. That's my man.
Right.
But yeah, so we would always be asking each other, when you gonna see her? Did she send this? Oh, she sent that. Okay, what does it look like? Is there anything that is relevant into making sure that she's real? We always wanted to make sure. We was keen on making sure that we were talking to somebody real. And I think for a guy, after 2 months, maybe 3 months tops, might be shorter than that. I can't recall. It just depends on the situation of where the person was located, and I think for a guy it's a lot quicker than for a woman. What's your thoughts on that?
I would agree. I was going to say, I think a guy's urge to physically meet the woman is a lot quicker than a woman's urge.
Okay, and it's probably so for the woman's part, it probably varies on the type of woman she is too.
That.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying.
Okay. So since you told a little bit about your online dating, since I've moved here, right? I had a
talk about.
young.
I was gonna say talk about what you mean by here, but you don't have to put your business.
Since I moved away from North Carolina.
Yeah.
Right. There's a young lady that I was talking to that fell in my DMs on Instagram that lives in Charlotte, right?
Oh.
And apparently, right? Now, I talked to my little sister about this. You know, Cash. I talked to my little sister about this.
Yep.
And she used to always send pictures, to me. But they wouldn't be like from her camera roll. They would be screenshots. Right? And I'm like, so I get to going through the pictures and I analyze the pictures. I'm like, okay,
red flag.
That looks different. The toenail polish on this one is a little bit different. I'm just going through analyzing these pictures. And I was sending to my sister. She was like, yo, I don't think this girl is who she say she is type. And I was like, yo, I'm thinking the same thing to keep myself from being catfish type thing. So I would always like, yo, like, when you coming to see me? And she would always respond with, when you flying me out. Bitch, I ain't flying you out. You paying for your own shit. Well, I ain't coming. All right, you ain't gotta come. I don't care, right? But then, okay, cool. So I let the conversation go on for a little while longer, maybe like a couple of weeks. And she would always send me these pictures, and they would always be screenshots. I'm like, yo, like, who are you? And so I asked, like, who are you? She said, what do you mean? What do you mean, who am I? Right? And I was like, these pictures aren't coming from your camera roll. Yes, they are. No, they're not. They're screenshots. So I'm just like, okay, whatever. So we ended up falling off the face. She ended up falling off the face of the earth for like a week or two. Came back in my DM on Instagram because I blocked her on my phone. Why did you block me? Because you're fake. Right?
This is recent, right? You said this is recent.
This is recent. This was probably maybe a couple of months ago.
And people still out here catfishing like that, though?
People still out here bro. And I would ask her like, yo, let's FaceTime. Oh no, I got my daughter in the bed with me. Okay, well, go to the living room. Did she sleep? Go to the living room. Never wanted to FaceTime, but she would call every time I would try to FaceTime her. She would answer the phone with FaceTime audio. So all right, I'm blocking you.
Yeah. That's very fishy. And so, and getting back to Manti, even though this technology, FaceTiming and all that was newer back around that time. Something had to click to him is, okay, this woman never wants to talk to me or see me or get us to where we're face to face or I can actually see her in motion and actually talk to her. Nah. I
Nah,
got too
because like
much going on right now.
too much, bro. And even with that, which could have played into like we said before, it could have played into a huge part as to why Manti never was really pushed or pressed to see her because he had so much going on with football,
Right.
with his future and stuff like that, trying to keep everything in line because it was a lot. He was doing a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like, okay, cool. He might not have been pressed to see her, but at some point, whenever I'm feeling like my heart is in this,
Yep. I gotta see you.
I gotta see you.
I
I gotta
I
see
gotta
you.
see you.
I gotta see you. It's a
Yeah.
wrap. Like, no, I'm flying you out.
Yep.
At that point, I'm gonna fly you out because it's too much going on. I'm gonna offer if you
And you
keep
know he
telling me.
had it. He had Notre Dame. You know he had it some form
You
of
know he
fashion.
had it in
Some
some
booster
way.
would have paid it or
Some
something.
which is illegal by the way, guys. But
Hey.
but he had to get it how he lived. You
Yeah,
feel me?
yeah,
Like I
but
got, you know what I'm saying?
I'm not saying I wasn't saying that to incriminate Manti.
No, no,
I'm just
facts,
saying
facts,
like,
facts, facts, facts.
listen,
Yeah.
it was some form of fashion to. Again, we're talking about Manti Te'o. Y'all just look up. If you don't know who he is, look him up around that time, and you'll be like, okay, yeah, they got
He
a
was
point.
animal.
Somebody would have.
Somebody
And
would have helped him
we're
out.
gonna get in that too. Him being an animal because I analyzed that as well. But at some form of fashion, some person would have got Lene to him,
Lene
especially
to him.
when the story blew up, or especially when everything was going on as far as she had. This is another part. Sticks. She
What's
had
that?
leukemia. And then,
Yeah.
and then she was in the hospital, and then she was good, and then
But then she was dead. Like,
and then she came back. Like, bro,
bro,
listen,
went through a bro. Renaya killed Shorty off.
yes,
Killed her off, bro. Like what?
it's like a whole episode of Power, bro. We waiting for
And
Ghost to
it
come
was
back.
right. And when he killed Lene off, it was right after his grandma had just
Yeah,
passed. I
the
think.
same day. The same
The
day. So his
same-
the same day his grandmother passed away. He gets a call about Renaya getting in a car accident and dying. Or was it the other way around? No, she got into a car accident before. And
But she died of the leukemia.
whoa. All right, man. All right, I'm gonna keep this together. So she got into a car accident. Renaya, again, played many hats. She was like Robin Williams and Eddie Murphy.
Miss Doubtfire. With that
Yeah,
too.
and
But you-
Eddie
bro,
Murphy playing all these roles.
all these parts, right?
Yo, okay, so
Nutty Professor head ass.
yes, 100%. So
Facts.
she supposedly gets into a car accident and is in the hospital.
Right.
Renaya is playing her brother, calls Manti, quote unquote, in the hospital, puts the phone to Lene, who is the
Lene.
girl that he's portraying, to her so he can hear the breathing and her on the tubes. And quote on and this all this is true. You please look at this documentary. I hope.
Yeah.
And so he puts the phone to her, lets her hear her breathing and stuff. Manti's talking to her and saying, all the pleasantries and sentimental statements that a person would say that's in love with somebody and not able to be with them while they're supposedly on their deathbed. And Renaya is she needs to write her own movies and stuff. So she says that she comes back, and I don't know how it got back to Manti, but the nurse says whoever she's talking to or whoever's talking to her, that's the most response that we've gotten out of her since she's been in this hospital.
I didn't see that part, bro.
What?
I didn't see that part, bro. So
Yes.
wait. So was it Renaya also playing the nurse?
Yes.
He's the mastermind, bro. He's the greatest.
Mastermind.
He's the greatest. He's the greatest. He needs to be Neve. He needs to be Neve. He needs to take over the Catfish show, bro.
Yo.
He's the greatest. He's the greatest.
By far. Man, when I heard that, that's what made me like from Manti is gullible and naive to this was elaborate. It was so many different weaves and elements tangled into one.
Bruh,
Yeah.
he's the greatest.
The greatest
Oh my
mastermind.
gosh, bro. The amount of voices, the amount of times he had to change his voice, and I knew that from the beginning of the documentary. I didn't see that part, which is crazy. But the amount of voices he had to use to keep this story going is remarkable, bro. It's crazy.
Yeah, you got to remember what you told them as this person. He had to remember. I'm gonna say he because it was he at the time.
At the time, right.
He had to remember what he told Manti as the brother. He had to remember what he told Manti as the cousin. He even got his little sister in on it.
I saw that part.
Yeah. So he got his little sister who knew that he was catfishing Manti to say something along the lines of, I wish Lene was here to witness this or something, because they actually got to go to a game.
Mm-hmm.
It's
It's
just
like,
so
yo,
much, bro.
he was the greatest of all time, bro.
Yeah.
But if y'all haven't seen it, if y'all haven't seen that story on Netflix, go look at the Manti Te'o story on the Catfish story on Netflix. What's the name of it again? I forget.
It's the girlfriend who didn't exist.
The girlfriend who didn't exist. Please go watch it, because it is a, even if you don't know who Manti Te'o is, it's still a good watch on Netflix.
It's a good watch.
It's still
for
a good
real.
watch for sure.
And we're going longer than we want to on this, but yeah. I have to stay with this because it was so much.
Go ahead.
About this daggone documentary and about this story that just made me go digging and looking at other stuff. So the reason that this story came out the way it did in 2012 is not because it was Manti Te'o and it was like he was catfished. It came out because the reporters at Deadspin wanted to stick it to ESPN and all of the mainstream media companies for not doing their due diligence and doing their research. And so they found out that Manti was being catfished, and the person that he was quote unquote in a relationship with was not the person that he thought they were. And so the reporters, I forgot their names. Let me see if I have it here. I forgot Timothy Burke and Jack Dickey.
I think those names came up in the documentary.
Yeah, they were in the documentary.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah, they were in the documentary. So they wanted to stick it to ESPN. And they said that ESPN is always trying to break news, break stories, that they don't actually do the research to know what they're doing, which, again, this was 2012. Was that the start of fast media, to where everything had to be, I got to get it out no matter what it is. Let's get it out. And if it's good, if it's bad, it's going to bring some publicity and some advertising dollars back to us.
So you saying that Deadspin might have been the first kind of sort of like TMZ type thing?
Yes.
Okay. Got you.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, but differently though, because TMZ is what I was referring to as far as fast media, because
right.
Because if you recall, R.I.P. Kobe, them or somebody else put out that Kobe Bryant was dead before Vanessa was even
alerted,
right, or told by the authorities that yes, your husband is dead. And so she found out from the news and not actually the proper channels of being informed of that her husband and her daughter just died in a plane, a helicopter accident. Right. So Deadspin was the opposite though. They were the ones that actually put together the story of actually did the work of going to find out, okay, this person's not who she says she is. Manti Te'o is being played and is playing into his Heisman Trophy run because of the whole pageantry of this is a great feel-good story, and he's doing it for his grandmother and for his dead girlfriend, and all of that was fake. And then so when the story breaks, the second story that comes from that is, was he in on it?
Facts. I remember that. I remember that.
And so
Like, but how would you even spin a story like that to say was Manti? Well, I know how you could spin it because it's like you're hyping up your Heisman Trophy run. You're trying to do these things. It could be a PR stunt. It could be.
yeah, for
But
sure.
why would you think that Manti would be in on catfishing?
I don't know. I
seem
don't
right
know
to me.
why. It don't seem right. But as always, we heard this as youngins. We hear it still in our age now. The media and the public loves to build you up to break you down.
To break you back down.
And he was, again, we're going to look at his stats because while it was a good year, it wasn't like the year you think he would have. Or that it wasn't like that type of year, but because he played at Notre Dame, which is probably is one of the top tier football programs in the country, and because they were undefeated, which they got their ass beat in the national championship game that year.
Beat the brakes off them boys.
But because they were undefeated, he had all of this mystique and all of this status and all of this goodness that came behind the type of play that he was having.
Mm-hmm.
And as soon as this came out, everybody turned on him. He went from being the media darling to being on the cover of most hated athletes. How do you Sticks? How do you become the most hated athlete because somebody catfished you?
How is that
Not anything
possible,
you
bro?
did.
How's that
Not
even
anything
possible,
negative
bro?
you did. You fell for somebody catfishing you.
Just
Crazy.
want to bring it up.
Oh, I had it. I had it all.
You already had it up. You already had it.
I didn't have it. I didn't have it up, but I researched all of this. So I compared his stats to others, the middle linebackers, his similar stature, because he also, and once all of this came out, his draft status fell because people didn't want to deal with, or they thought he was going to be a drama queen or king, whatever the term is.
Because he was drafted
in the second round. He was drafted in the second round in the 36th pick.
Okay, got you.
To the San Diego Chargers.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, he was as a Heisman candidate, runner-up. I think he was he's a third or runner-up.
He was a runner-up.
How as a Heisman runner-up, you go from being a first-round draft pick to, because of this, being drafted in the second round because people questioned your you being a drama king. When I looked up his numbers, I actually think and saw his performance in the national championship game, tying in sports. It wasn't just because of that. It was because his combine numbers and his performance in the national championship game playing against Alabama.
Yeah.
Everybody knows Alabama.
Yes.
That's as close to an NFL team as you're going to get year in and year out.
For sure.
While he did have 10 tackles, he was not the Manti Te'o that we all saw that year.
But could you contribute that performance to everything that was circling in the media though? Because a lot of that does have an effect on your mental, like your psyche. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you got a lot of stuff on your mind. Your grandma just died. Your girlfriend just died, who you found out was a catfish.
Yeah.
Like this whole time. Like that could play into his mental. So I can kind of give him. He gave everybody else benefit of the doubt. I'm gonna give him benefit of the doubt on that one. You know what I'm saying? Because he had a lot going on.
I 100% agree with you for the national championship game, right?
Yeah.
But then because he did have a lot to deal with, because after the national championship game is when that Deadspin article came out and all of the media hoopla started to circulate around him. He actually had to get moved from the place that he was staying at while he was training to a secluded location. It's just crazy, man, because we can go on and on about this. We can go
on and on about this.
We can go on and on about this. But I say all that to say that I don't think, while he was dealing with a lot and it was drama and all this media circulation that came behind him at that time, he actually did not perform that well either in the combine or his pro day. So I compared him to some other middle linebackers, AJ Hawk, Patrick Willis, Luke Kuechly, Ray Lewis, Brian Urlacher. His numbers, as far as the combine and the stats, don't add up. So let's just look at his.
You got those numbers. You want to share your screen?
No, I'm just read it off.
I bet.
So 40 time, he runs a 4.82.
Got you.
AJ Hawk, 4.64. Patrick Willis, 4.53. Luke Kuechly, 4.58. Ray Lewis, which it was tough to find Ray Lewis and Brian Urlacher's stats, I guess, because they were pre-2000s and all of that stuff wasn't easily accessible or kept track of like it is nowadays. But supposedly Ray Lewis ran a 4.58 and Brian Urlacher ran a 4.57, which I can see for Brian Urlacher because he was a safety in college.
Right, he was a safety in college. Yeah.
Bench press.
Patrick Willis was moving 4.53. Patrick Willis was gold.
Patrick Willis was a beast, bro. But
for sure.
But so I also pulled in somebody that we know very well. Different position, still linebacker though. 4.52. Aaron Curry.
No, I mean I knew who he's gonna bring up. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
He was moving too though. Yeah, Aaron was an animal, bro. Aaron was
for
an
sure.
Animal, bro.
Yeah, not to get off topic, but I was just pulling all these people in.
Facts.
And so bench press. He didn't even bench press at the combine or pro day. Didn't even bench press. At a linebacker,
See, okay.
You have to do stuff like that.
But as a linebacker, because I'm about to say I didn't bench press either. In my pro day or my combine, I didn't bench press at all. But that's only because I was just coming off a shoulder surgery. Because I had shoulder surgery in December and my pro day was in March. I was like, I'm not benching. What?
Yeah.
But I'm a receiver though. Receivers don't have to do it. We can.
They got to run.
We have to run. We have to run though. Yes.
But bench press. I mean, if you do well, that's good. If not, I mean, you don't have to be strong. You just have to be able to run it and get in and out of breaks.
Catch the elusive.
Yep. You know what I mean? So he didn't bench press. Everybody else doing 20 plus on the bench press reps. Vertical, 33-inch vertical. Everybody else other than Brian Urlacher and Ray Lewis, 35 and above. Gotcha. He did 33. So this is where I'm saying he had a good season.
He didn't have the number. He didn't have the performance in his combine like they thought he was going to have coming out.
It gets deeper than that. It gets deeper than that. So total tackles on the year: Manti 113, AJ Hawk 121, Patrick Willis 137. This man Luke Kuechly, bro.
That's senior years.
The year before they go into the draft. Gotcha. This man, Luke Kuechly, had 191 tackles.
Luke Kuechly was a beast his last year.
Whoa.
Bro.
Yes.
Because he went to Boston. He went to Boston College, right?
Boston College, for sure.
Right.
Ray Lewis had 160. Brian Urlacher 178. Again, we're going to talk about Luke Kuechly for a bit, too. Solo tackles. Manti, 55. AJ Hawk, 69. Patrick Willis, 87. Luke Kuechly. Solo tackles now. This is unassisted. You tackle somebody one-on-one by yourself.
130. I'm going to guess 130.
102 solo tackles.
102. Out of 191, though. That man was at the ball every play, bro.
Every play. You saw it in the NFL.
Yeah, facts.
All right. Tackles for loss. Manti, 5.5 tackles for loss. AJ Hawk, 16.5. Patrick Willis, 11.5. Luke Kuechly, 12. Ray Lewis, 8 sacks. Manti but middle linebackers don't really have that many sacks unless they're blitzing or that's a part of the scheme. So
put it this way: he had 8.5 his whole career.
His senior year, he had 1.5. AJ Hawk had 9.5. So that's what Ohio State was doing. They was just blitzing AJ Hawk. Patrick Willis had 3. Ray Lewis had 2. Now this is where Manti made his name, and this is what kind of makes his season unique. But if you're running a 4.82, it doesn't really matter that you're a coverage linebacker. He had 7 interceptions that year. Yeah, that's amazing. As a linebacker,
that's good.
Yeah, but he didn't do it in a national championship game
at all.
He ran a 4.82. So to me, and to bring it all together, yes, he dealt with a lot. As far as that Catfish ordeal, and again, Manti, if you see this, bro, I'm not saying anything negative about you. You are a great human being, but
100%.
all of what he dealt with for the year, he didn't deal with this until the last 2 months of his senior year, or a month of his senior year.
Month of his senior year, yeah, the last month of
Or
his
was
senior
it before that? As
year.
far as when he found out
It was literally right
Lene
before
was
the national
dead
championship.
and his grandmother was dead.
It was literally right before the national championship,
Okay,
as they were going into like the Heisman candidacy and stuff like that.
Right. So so he didn't deal with all this until that last month. His numbers don't really add up per se to people in in comparison to him that are comparable to who he is. So to me, yeah, he was a Heisman candidate, but the numbers say otherwise.
I agree with you. He definitely wasn't the explosive linebacker that the NFL thought he was going to be.
Right.
Coming out of Notre Dame, and what he showed his all 4 years of college, like averaging 109 tackles a year is crazy.
Right.
Like, it's still good, but if you're going to be compared to somebody like Luke Kuechly, who had 191 in one season.
191. But I mean, not even that. You know, like Patrick Willis, AJ Hawk, they had 120 plus. I think if you're going to be seen as a top tier linebacker, you have to have multiple tackles, because that means you're around the ball, right? And 4.8 for a middle linebacker, especially back in that time, is not bad. But when you compare to, I don't see AJ Hawk. To me, I don't remember AJ Hawk being that athletic. But he ran a 4.64 and had a 40-inch vertical.
He was explosive.
So you know what I mean. So
he was explosive. He was strong.
Right. If you don't have the stats, you better for sure have the attributes as an athlete. Yeah. Right. As an athlete, because they can justify, well, he didn't have the stats, but this is his performance. And this is what his numbers say he can be at the pro level based off of what he did at the combine. We see it all the time with these little known players that come out of nowhere that run 4.24s, and they get picked up way before they went from being undrafted to potentially a third, fourth round pick.
Facts.
So, yeah. We went off topic. We went off topic as far as
we were still on topic as Manti.
Yeah, so as Manti, but yeah. And so, to wrap it all up, the documentary finishes off with him talking about his mental health, him seeking help, and being numb, and ultimately this whole situation stealing his confidence, which for me I can relate to, because it's a lot of stuff that we as men deal with on a daily basis, that if we're confident, we can overcome a lot, right? It's just, if you have confidence, you can do whatever you want to do, basically. As long as you feel like you can do it, you do it with confidence, it can be done. This whole situation took his confidence, because he then started to question, can he trust himself? And when he went to see this therapist in his third year, I think he said, his third year in the league with the Chargers, second or third year. He went to see this therapist. Sure. Yeah, he went to see this therapist, and the therapist was saying, "Have you forgiven Renaya?" And this is where we said Manti. This is where we see that Manti is just a great human being.
Just a great guy.
A great guy all around. He's like, yes, without question. I mean, yeah. Why you ask me that? He was like, okay, that's good. The therapist is talking to the therapist. He's like,
right.
Okay, that's good. All right, great. Have you forgiven yourself? And he stopped and thought. Have I forgiven myself? What do you mean by that? Well, and this is where we talk about as a man, as an athlete. As an athlete, as a man, you have to trust yourself. You have to know that if you make this decision, whether it's good or bad, you can live with the consequences. You have to do it all in confidence. And now you experience the negative side on an ongoing basis of something that happened to you. You have to forgive yourself. Because if you don't forgive yourself, and this, again, it's the therapist talking to Manti, you're always going to experience the issues that he was having while he was at in the league. And some of those issues was he was saying he felt numb.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't feel like himself while he was on the field. That used to be, he felt at home. It was foreign to him.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll wrap all of this segment up by saying my man dealt with all of that and still played 7 years in the league.
Facts. Yeah.
But if you haven't seen The Girlfriend That Didn't Exist, please go check it out.
Please go check it out.
Let us know what y'all think in the comments.
For sure. Because it's definitely a must watch.
And we went on longer than we wanted to, but it was a lot to uncover with that one.
It was a lot to unpack with that right there, because you had to bring a lot of things. We had to bring a lot of things full circle and to bring things to surface level for us to actually get through that segment, because it was a lot.
It's a lot, man.
In that.
Yeah, for sure.
All right,
so
we go. Next segment, my boy.
We go from Manti being catfish to KD catfishing the whole league.
KD catfished everybody.
You know what I'm saying?
Catfished everybody. And the thing that kind of makes me mad about this whole KD situation is when he first came to Brooklyn, he asked for and got everything he wanted. Mm-hmm. Literally, he got fucking DeAndre Jordan. He got Kyrie. He got James Harden. He got the coach fired and got Steve Nash brought in. He got everything he wanted from that front office. And the moment everything starts to break down, he want to run away. And this is like an ongoing theme with KD. And this is what a lot of sports analysts and a lot of talk shows and a lot of podcasts are talking about with KD, sports podcasts in general. It's like, why, whenever you can't do it yourself, you go to try to do it with somebody else. But that's also a tough conversation with our boy too, but we're gonna talk about that shit later. But the KD had the whole league, like you said, catfished. He renied the whole league.
And I said that to kind of blend the segments together, but I'm actually on the opposite end. Yeah, he did catfish this whole situation with KD.
Okay, I'm looking forward to hearing your take on this, because we're gonna debate this for sure. Because I'm pissed off with KD. I ain't gonna lie.
You pissed off with KD? Dang, is that serious? You that in love with?
Well, I mean, he's stupid. Well, I ain't gonna say I'm pissed off. That was a hard word, but it's like it's annoying. The whole story itself is annoying. But go ahead, say your piece.
Well, so all of this started because of somebody else. From what it was said, what's being passed around in the media circuits around the NBA, all of this started because KD is staying 10 toes down with Kyrie. We all know what happened with Kyrie last year. Is he didn't get the vaccination. He stood true to who he was. Didn't care. Did he actually get paid for playing last year?
So he got paid for away games, but didn't get paid for home games.
Okay,
they wouldn't allow him in the stadium. Correct.
So Kyrie stayed true to who he was. Didn't care if he was not getting paid for half of the games being played, but he was not getting the vaccination, and he was going back and forth. At first, the Nets were cool with it, him not getting the vaccination, and then when they started not playing well because they had no cohesion as a unit, because they're depending on Kyrie to be there. Sometimes he's playing, sometimes he's not. As you mentioned, he's playing away games, but he's not playing home games, which is half the season. Then they were what, 8th in the East?
They were last in the East. Yep.
Last in the East. Which the East was, in the last couple years, they've been more powerful, more of a stacked conference than the Western Conference. But I mean, they're pretty equal, because the Western Conference is always stacked.
They've historically had the better conference historically, but here in the last, I would say I ain't gonna say decade, but within the last like 7 to 8 years,
5 years,
they've been okay. We'll do that. In the last 5 years, they've been very competitive with the Western Conference, like neck and neck with the Western Conference.
Yeah, and so the Nets were 8th in the league with a roster that had KD, Kyrie, James Harden at one point, Blake Griffin, Seth Curry, DeAndre Jordan before. Well, no, DeAndre was not there this year because remember DeAndre started with the Lakers this year.
You're talking about this year, true?
This year.
You're right. Mm-hmm.
So they had KD, Kyrie, Harden, Blake Griffin, Seth Curry. Joe Harris was hurt. LaMarcus Aldridge. Mm-hmm. I mean, they had a stack. You would expect the Nets to be in the NBA championship.
To have that, if they had a big three, they had a point guard and Kyrie, they had the shooting guard and James Harden. Then they had the 3 and the 4 with KD. That right there should win you a championship.
By itself,
to be honest. And you can just add those pieces around them, which Blake Griffin who's on the back end of his career, but he's still a serviceable power forward.
Right.
You still had LaMarcus Aldridge, who's also on the back end of his career, and he
has some issues,
a health issue himself. Yeah. But he's still serviceable in the league to go with those three. And then your bench, who had Spencer Dinwiddie at one point.
Sound like you said bitch.
But in your bench, who had Spencer Dinwiddie at one point, who was a serviceable guard, who was a really good guard in the NBA. They had him as a 6-man. They did, but they had him as a 6-man at the beginning of the year.
Yep, for sure.
Right. So it was like you have that front 5 and that 6-man, and the other 3 or 4 guys on your bench can play well. Y'all have a championship team, which is why they came in the beginning of the season as the favorite to win the championship.
Right. And so I say all of that because KD, who is the second most hated player in the league behind LeBron, in my opinion, KD was standing for his boy. Saying they treated him well, or they tolerated. We all know the Nets tolerated Kyrie's behavior because of KD, but KD wants them to welcome him in with open arms, and that relationship is tarnished from here.
But the crazy thing is that we can talk about Kyrie in another conversation, because I believe. Here recently, his past 3 teams he's been on, he's a cancer, bro. But we're gonna talk about that later. We can talk about that in a minute. But he bruh.
Yeah.
He's a cancer, bro.
But what I'm saying is this is why KD requested why KD requested the trade is one, because of the Kyrie situation and how the Nets organization handled that by first saying everything is good, and then basically scapegoating Kyrie as the reason why the season went the way it was. And maybe it was. Maybe Kyrie is the reason. But you got KD on your team. You shouldn't be 8th in the league in the East. At all.
You got KD, Kyrie, and James Harden. There's no way you should be 8th in the East.
James Harden, too. So it was KD.
Even with out of shape James Harden, you shouldn't be.
Right. You shouldn't be 8th in the league.
8th in the league.
So that was it. And then what was the other one? Is he was just tired of the coaching as well. So that's funny to me. I'll finish that thought though. But he was tired of coaching, so he wanted the organization to treat Kyrie better, and then he was tired of Steve Nash as a coach, which I don't know. So you mentioned that he requested Steve Nash.
He requested before he came from Golden State to Brooklyn.
Yeah.
He requested Steve Nash as the coach.
You sure?
He requested, yes.
I've read otherwise. I've read that the only reason that Steve Nash is the coach for the Nets is because he worked with KD, not because KD requested him.
I've heard. Well, I guess we've heard conflicting stories because I've heard through different podcasts and different YouTube videos that I've watched that he requested Steve Nash as the coach.
Okay, I can believe it.
I forget what the name of the current coach was before Steve Nash came, but he got him fired technically, and they brought in Steve Nash because KD wanted Steve Nash.
Was it Al Gentry? Who was that coach?
I think it was. That name sounds familiar, but I can't remember.
Let's see. What was that? 2021. No, it was Jacques Vaughn.
Jacques Vaughn.
Oh no, that was so it was Kenny Atkinson.
Okay.
Atkinson was the coach. But yeah,
But yeah, but now he asks for Steve Nash to come be his coach.
Yep.
He gets Kyrie, he gets James Harden, he gets the cast around him, and then he's mad because they're not sticking up for his boy and Kyrie, which is cool because I would do the same thing for you if we was,
right.
You know what I'm saying? Which is cool. That's my boy. I'm gonna look out for my boy. Bros before hoes. We get it.
Yeah.
But now you tired
together.
of the coaching? But you tired of the coaching when you ask for the coach?
Hey, yo,
you know what I'm saying? But see, there was a lot of other things too that happened too because they ended up trading James Harden and they got Ben Simmons, which is a downgrade in my book.
You think so?
Yes, bro. Ben Simmons, no, bro.
And James Harden's current state.
James Harden, I would take James Harden.
No, you're right. No, you're right. You're right. I would take
James Harden.
I forgot Ben Simmons didn't play a whole season because he didn't take a wide open layup and the fans got on him and he got in his feelings. I forgot that. I'm sorry.
Facts.
You are correct.
Wide open layup in the playoffs. I think wasn't it the finals?
Conference finals
against the Raptors.
Sixers ain't
game winning. Bro, in the conference
finals. No, it wasn't the Raptors, bro. It was the Hawks. Because it was Trae Young.
Oh, it was Trae Young. You're right.
Yeah, because it was like he should have dunked on Trae Young.
Right, he should have dunked on Trae Young because Trae Young, but like, and Ben Simmons is the same guy who in that same series didn't want to shoot the ball,
right,
and couldn't hit a free throw to save his life.
Yeah, so there was a downgrade.
Downgrade from James Harden to Ben Simmons, 100%. 100%.
You're right. To a degree, but you're right.
And Ben Simmons didn't even play the rest of that season, so he lost a good MVP caliber player in James Harden to go to Philly.
But James Harden requested a trade.
I'd have no problem with that.
Yeah, no, he did. Ain't no.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And I don't blame him.
Yeah,
for requesting that trade.
But so this is my thing and why I am kind of on the other end. I'm just tired of basketball fans, of fans in general, saying that certain people are quote unquote ruining. I can't talk. Ruining the league, or you can't. How do you ruin a $10 billion industry? One person. How does one person ruin a $10 billion company?
Because fans are so. How do I say? Fans are so indoctrinated in the old style of how the league, how players used to be
treated,
how they used to be treated, and what they call as loyalty. Right?
Yeah.
But what they don't understand is that a lot of these older players, Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, John Stockton, these guys who
Magic Johnson,
these guys who stuck with their teams for the bulk of their careers or for the full length of their careers, a lot of these guys were in contracts they couldn't get out of.
Right, which holds with your point that you were going to make earlier.
You know what I'm saying? A lot of these guys are in contracts of 10-year contracts, 7-year contracts that they can't get out of. So the fact that, yes, Michael Jordan played his full championship career with the Bulls, yes, he stuck through it against the Pistons, the bad boys and the Pistons, and the Celtics who was beating them up, and Lakers who was beating them up, whatever the fuck. He stuck through that because he was in a contract he couldn't get out of.
Magic Johnson was in a 25-year contract with the Lakers.
25 years, bro.
25 years, dog.
John Stockton, 12.
How that's
12-year contracts. You with no trade clauses.
Right.
So the fact that people are saying like you should stick it out with the team and blah, blah, bro, these motherfuckers ain't got they got 4-year contracts now.
Yeah.
4-year contracts, 3-year contracts with player options and bro, the league back then was way different as far as contracts than it is right now. It's a players league now. So it was an owners league back in the day.
Wait. Let me back you up though, because it sounds like you on my side too now.
In a sense of, I understand why players these days are moving around more, and to the point of the fans saying one player is messing the league up because they say that about LeBron all the time.
Yeah.
Right. But I was backing your point up to the fact of I understand why you say that.
Yes, for sure. I
You know
just
what I'm
don't.
saying?
It
But
bothers me because
yeah,
if you put yourself outside of sports, if you put yourself in a job or a location that you don't like, you're gonna move. You're gonna look for a new job, which is why. And I like your point with the contract because KD had just freshly minted 4-year contract, but this is why corporate America doesn't give many contracts because people are going to say, "Oh, I'm not happy with this job," but they still going. I'm gonna go do whatever I want to do. They
but see,
still
my
going to pay
problem with
me.
that statement is this. Then my problem with that statement is this. Then you go to Golden State, right? Which in the job analogy, you sought this job out
Right,
because you
the
didn't like
best.
OKC. You
Yeah.
didn't like OKC, so you went to the best job that you could find, and they
Yep.
accepted you with open arms, right?
Right.
You get your 2 championships that you win, your 2 MVPs, and then you say, okay, I don't like this job anymore. I want to go over here to this job that's not as good, but I can be the superstar, right? Then not only do you do that, but you say, you know what? Job, I want my boy to come work with me. I want this boy to come work with me, and I want this dude to be my manager. And that company says, you know what? You're right, KD. We're going to do all of that for you. And then he's not as successful in the environment that he created,
Right.
and now he want to catfish the league.
Yeah.
That's why I'm mad at KD.
I understand that, but we're going to stick with the whole example that you use, right? So you leave a up and coming company, a startup. Let's say this: you leave a startup, okay?
OKC,
hold on.
OKC.
OKC.
Okay, OKC is a startup. Okay, I got you. I'm with you.
You leave a startup, which is OKC, to go to a Apple,
Right.
a company like Apple, which is Golden State at the time, right? You learn all the things you need to learn. You accomplish all the goals in statistics, scholastics, all of that stuff that you need, accomplishments that you need. You think, I need to go start my own business. And with me starting my own business, I'm going to pull my boy in. I'm going to pull my other boy in. And I also want this guy who I felt like I worked good with while I was at Apple. I want him to be on my board of directors. Never really actually had any bullets or shots fired with this person. Never been in the heat of battle with this person. I just worked with it. I just worked out with him.
I
just have a really good connection with him. So yeah, I'll pull him on my board of directors.
Okay.
But in the grand scheme of things, when actually bullets are flying and we in the foxhole and I need to be coached or I need that connection.
That management.
That management is just not meshing how I thought it was going to mesh. And all my other board of directors, now they got an issue with my boy that I want to come with me because he doesn't want to get whatever. He doesn't want to get the vaccination. And now the relationship between all of them is falling on hard times. I want to get the fuck out of here. I want to go do something else. I want to go find me. I want to go back to Apple, which it was taught, it was speculated that he was going back to.
It's going to happen. Facts.
Going back to Golden State. I want to go and learn some more, because this is also why I have an issue with everyday. I'm not talking about the fans that have either played basketball, coached basketball, and all that. I'm talking about the fair weather casual fans that they are the ones that ruin basketball because they made all of these great players feel like in order for them to truly be great, they have to have a championship.
Facts.
And so now you have your KDs. I'll throw LeBron in there. You have your
Steph Curry's.
Steph Curry's been with Golden State the whole time.
Well, true, he's been with Golden State.
But you have these players. James Harden. You have these players bouncing around. Carmelo Anthony, which he's not doing it. He's not doing it because he really wants to. He's just at the tail end of his career.
Facts.
But you have all these players bouncing around trying to find a way to win a championship to stamp their career as, yeah.
But Jimmy Butler was one of those too, right?
He was a legitimate top tier player because he had these stats and all of these and this championship as well.
Mm-hmm.
The fans are the one that ruined the NBA.
That ruined it. I agree.
Right. And so for that reason alone, I am on the other side of this whole catfishing ordeal with KD.
With KD.
I understand why everybody's upset? Yes, the competitiveness of professional sports, especially in the NBA, in the last 10, 12 years has kind of dwindled. You have your big three. You have these super teams.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like with everybody griping about it, it's only made the NBA better as far as a business because people say they don't watch it, but the numbers say different.
The numbers say way different.
It was a $6 billion company 5 years ago. It's worth $10 billion now.
Yep.
That doesn't, what you say and what you do.
What you're saying, it doesn't add up. Because if you say you don't watch the NBA, then why are they year over year earning more money?
Right.
Why are they more successful year over year? So But I mean, to the point of KD, I mean, I can concede that because that was a really good analogy, putting it in the sense of startup to Apple to owning my own business. I get that 100%. So that was a good. I can concede that.
Entrepreneurs fail all the time.
Shoot, almost 90% of startup companies fail the first 2 years that they're open.
For sure. And how many years has KD been in the
He's been in the league,
3 years? No, with the Nets. 3 years.
With the Nets, 3 years. 3 years. So yeah,
it was time for him to go.
It was time for him. Well, no, because
it's been a failure.
It has been a failure. Yes. To your business, business, and your owning a company analogy, yes, it's failed. But 90% of startup companies fail or they're not profitable the first 2 years. But that's why you continue to work on your business.
Well,
right?
Yeah, you continue to work on your business,
say for instance,
but you also
me and you
dilute
right
your
now,
equity.
right? Me and you right now, right? We're starting this business.
Yep.
Part of my wisdom. We're probably not going to have no traction the first year and a half, 2 years, right?
Absolutely.
But are we going to stop?
Probably not.
Probably not, right?
So, unless something drastic happens.
Facts. So the more we keep perfecting our craft and the more we keep putting into our business and the more we keep, building part of my wisdom as a business, it's going to succeed. You know what I'm saying? But see, on the adverse of that is LeBron. You see what I'm saying? So it's
talk about it. What you want to say?
It's hard to say because LeBron, from the people's perspective, LeBron's done the same thing. He came in with the startup at Cleveland, had a little bit of success, but not as much success as he wanted to have. So he said, "You know what? I'm gonna go to Miami." You know what I'm saying? Even though Miami wasn't the Golden State in this situation, because Miami they won a championship with D Wade, but it wasn't like they had already won two and were already been in the dynasty.
Yeah. Right.
You know what I'm saying? So he joined up with D Wade, brought Chris Bosh, got a good core around him. They ended up winning back-to-back championships.
No, they
then
did.
He says, "Okay, cool."
Oh well, yeah, they did. Not
yeah. Over the time frame.
Right. Yeah.
Ended up winning in that time frame of that big three. They won back-to-back championships at a time. Then he goes and says, "You know what? I'm going to leave this Apple, what is Apple now, in Miami, and I'm gonna go start my own business back in Cleveland." So technically, with your analogy, and it was successful, but KD wasn't. But I don't think KD gave it enough time because how long was LeBron in Cleveland his second stint before he won that championship?
So 4 years, 3 or 4 years, because every time LeBron, I hate rattling off what everybody else has said, but it's true. So every time LeBron has left, he's fulfilled his contracts. So it's been 3 or 4 years.
Okay. So I'm about to go look it up, but he had those first 2 years of not being successful, but he made it to the championship those 2 years. But then he finally won that one in the third year, right? So, or third or fourth year, whichever one it was. I can't remember off the top of my head. I'm about to go look though.
Might be the second year.
So he had the success. You know what I'm saying? That he because he built in his business.
Yeah.
But KD ain't even giving it a chance, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. That's what I'm saying.
I mean, listen, like I said, I get why the outrage is there, because the competitiveness of sports is being diluted with all of these stars teaming up with each other. But that's just human nature. That's what we do. When you were recruited to go to the schools that you were recruited by, part of your decision to go to these schools was, one, you could play. Two, you would be teamed up with other teammates that could get you the attention and also winning. That's just human nature. That's the business of sports. You put the best players with the best players and create the best teams you can in order to win. And the reason that fans are upset is because it's no longer the general manager's choice. It is now the player's choice. They're forcing their way out of situations to get into better situations. Nobody wants to admit that and accept that. But we do it every day. If we have the ability to do it, we do it. If we can leave a job that pays us $50,000 a year to get a job that pays us $150,000 a year, we gone.
We gonna be up out of there. Agreed.
And that's all these athletes are doing. It's because it's sports. It's supposed to be, you get it out the mud and you build your own shit.
Shit ain't working out, but anyway. My bad.
You build your own shit and you win it how you win it. If you don't, you don't. If you do, you do. But it also kills me. Off topic.
So just to the LeBron thing that we were just talking about. So he was with Cleveland for 8 years.
Yeah.
Then went to Miami for 4.
Yeah.
Then went back to Cleveland for 4.
Okay.
And then now he's been with LA for 4.
Okay.
So
he signed a 2-year extension.
And signed a 2-year extension, which will put him in the league 22 years at this point after that contract. So man,
Still balling.
And still balling. But the crazy thing is, bro, the difference between him and KD to me is that in that business analogy, he pours into that business before he leaves and makes that business successful before he leaves. He takes it from startup to Apple and then bounces.
He brings in, whoa.
Because
let's back up. Let's back up on that statement.
Think about it.
Let's back up on that statement.
Okay.
Let's back up on that statement.
Tell me why.
Because what you said, while he's there is true, but no. So he goes to a team. We're talking about LeBron. Goes to a team and builds it up to be Apple. In our example, right? But when he leaves, it's no longer Apple.
I agree, but it's Apple until no. But see, in the business aspect, if you're thinking about business, whenever you're on the top, like you win, you're the highest grossing company. In this analogy, being the one that won a championship, the highest grossing company. At that point, you're Apple. For that first year, you're Apple, and then once you lose that highest grossing, you're no longer Apple, right?
Right.
So he builds it up to Apple until he bounces. And then once that next team wins that championship, they're not Apple no more. Now that team is Apple, right?
Yeah, but okay. So what I'm saying, but what I'm saying is, in KD's situation, even though Golden State has been not so good prior to last year, they've been competitive, but they haven't been the Golden State that we know. Injuries to Clay, Steph, so on and so forth. Golden State continued to be Apple. They just went through a tough stretch when KD left. They went through a tough stretch. As we've seen, when everybody was healthy, they won a championship again this year. So they still Apple.
Can you say that? But what truth? They are still Apple. They've been the dynasty for the past 10 years,
basically
decade.
Yeah, they've been the gold standard of the NBA.
But the crazy thing is that you can't. So you said whenever KD came in, he won 2 championships with them and then bounced, right? And then they had a tough stretch, but then they won another championship. Can you say that about LeBron's teams?
That's what I'm saying. They're no longer Apple.
Okay.
What I'm saying is Golden State. When KD went to Golden State, they were Apple. When KD left, they were Apple. They just had some tough years where their product was broke. Or it was a messed up product, and they had to fix it. And when they fixed it, back on top.
back on top again. I can dig it. I can dig it. I can dig it. I can dig it. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So I mean, but yeah, I think this whole KD thing was just to me initially it came off very selfish. But
Selfish.
talking
Why,
through it with you because of everything he did to get in Brooklyn. He got 3 players that he wanted, the coach that he wanted, and whenever the system broke down and they didn't win the championship and his big toe was on the line, he wants to leave now.
But so, and the reason I said selfish, why? Because I'll bring it back to my original statement. I don't think, first off, it was KD masterminding this whole let's go to Brooklyn, as we saw at the All-Star game when it was here in Charlotte. I'm in Charlotte, North Carolina. When it was in Charlotte, where him and Kyrie in the tunnel talking about, yo, let's go to the Nets. They got 2 max contracts. We can get there. We can ask for this. We can ask for that. They ain't never won shit. Let's go there. KD, okay, let's go there. Now,
so you think Kyrie was the one that masterminded all this?
Oh, by far, bro. Come on.
Really?
Yes. Yes.
Well, knowing, seeing Kyrie's personality and the type of guy that he is, who's really strong in his values and strong in the things he believes in, I can see that. I can see that.
Yeah. So I mean,
I can see that.
I don't think KD is being selfish by sticking by his man, but I think he is being selfish by just signing a 4-year contract and then you requested a trade.
Yeah.
So that is where I have a grudge with him, because he's not being a man of his word. But I don't think he is ruining the NBA. I don't think he is wrong for standing up for his homeboy, who
he's not doing it. He's
was standing up for himself and not. I mean, you got vaccinated, right?
Yeah.
So we both got vaccinated. We did what we felt was best for us. Kyrie did what he felt was best for him. So
facts. But see, the crazy thing too with that contract is that you didn't give yourself any leverage. You signed the contract and then asked to be out. The company, the organization has no. They don't have to trade you.
They don't,
because you're under contract. You don't have any leverage.
That's true. But this is also why I have an issue with the NBA, is because this shit does not happen in the NFL. If it does, the knock used to be, oh, you want to trade, we'll send you to Buffalo. Well, shit, Buffalo been getting all them contracts. Buffalo been getting all them contracts. Now Buffalo a Super Bowl contender, but yeah, now it's okay, we'll send you to Cleveland. You know what I'm saying? So,
or we send you to Houston.
You know what I mean? But players in the NBA requesting trades and going where the hell they want to go. It's like, how do you do that?
They have so much power, bro.
Exactly, because it's a players-driven league.
It's a players-driven league. Yep.
They get all of this, and on top of this, Sticks, he signs these they sign these contracts. All of that money's guaranteed.
Guaranteed money. Max contracts fully guaranteed.
As long as they play, that money's guaranteed. Or I'm sorry, no, they don't even have to play. It's only in like situations like Kyrie's where he decided not to play, not because he was actually injured. He didn't want to abide by the protocols.
Right.
So, yeah, I mean, come on, man. We got to get off of that.
We got to, bro. And you know, good to know that, you know, KD is sticking by, like you said, sticking by his boy, staying in Brooklyn. Hopefully they can bring things together, man. But that whole debacle with him possibly going back to Golden State, possibly going to Miami, or maybe wanting to go play with Phoenix and all of these other plays. But bro, you're literally under contract. So if Brooklyn said, "Nigga, we not trading you," they ain't gonna trade you. They finally said, "No, we're just not gonna do it." And he has no choice but to play.
Yeah.
But it was like you said, he catfished the league by making it seem like, "Oh, no, I ain't playing for Brooklyn. Shit, I'm about to go play with D Book and motherfucking CP3." You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
did he actually say he was going to retire?
I didn't hear that part.
I couldn't
hear that part.
Okay, so I saw that as well, but I couldn't verify that. But I did see it was a rumor that he was going to retire, but I could not find that in writing or actually coming out of KD's mouth. Maybe I just didn't know where to look. But it said so. It went from I want to be traded. The Nets initially saying no to I will retire. The Nets saying okay, and I don't know if that's actually true, but
Let me look it up. Did KD actually say he was going to retire? Hold on, let me see.
yeah.
Let me look it up because I didn't hear that part, but maybe he came out and said, "Fuck it, I'm gonna retire then."
I don't think so, man. He loves basketball too much, to me.
At the room, okay. So this is what this is August 15th, 2022. Let me see if I can. I'm gonna share the screen on this one, so that way you can see it too. But share. All right. So this is what it says right here. That said, okay, KD retiring? No, says the man himself, right? That being said, this said the latest rumor out there, courtesy of Mark Stein, has Kevin Durant preferring to retire rather than play for another game for the Nets. So let me see if I can find where he actually. Oh, I know most people will believe unnamed sources over me, but if it's anyone out there that'll listen, I don't plan on retiring anytime soon. Shit is comical at this point. So I think who Mark Stein said he was going to retire.
Okay.
And KD was like, nah, hell no.
All right.
So, you know what I'm saying?
Well,
but
to wrap, you good to wrap this up or?
No, we can wrap this segment up for sure.
All right. So
yeah,
wrap this up. I'm saying KD is wrong for signing the contract but requesting the trade. Not wrong for sticking by his man and requesting the trade.
I'm saying that he wrong for coming to Brooklyn and asking for all of those things to happen for him, and then when it don't happen, now he want to off and take off. But I do believe my boy, my co-host here, that he ain't wrong for sticking by his boy. You know what I'm saying, and sticking by Kyrie. And the organization wasn't treating Kyrie well, so I don't blame him for sticking by his boy. So that's cool too. So yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, he's staying in Brooklyn and he's gonna do his thing. I think they're still a strong contender in the Eastern Conference. I think they're like third in the East right now. Mm-hmm. So things are gonna look up for Brooklyn, and KD gonna do his thing regardless. So
I think they're gonna be. I think they will be. If everybody's healthy, I think they'll be in the NBA Finals.
If everybody stays healthy,
yeah.
So now the biggest thing about that though is we can talk about this another day. But is Ben Simmons playing?
Oh, he's not playing?
Is he? I'm asking you.
Oh,
I don't know.
Yeah.
He's supposed to play, but knowing Ben Simmons, they might take another year off. Who knows? He done took 2 of them off.
It's been 2?
It's been 2 years. He didn't play the last year in Philly, and he didn't play this year in Brooklyn.
Yeah, he got traded to Brooklyn at the end of the year.
But he didn't play. He hasn't played 2 full seasons.
I thought it was just a year.
I mean, let's see.
Yeah, I thought it was just a year. I could be wrong, but yeah. So I think if everybody's healthy, they're in the NBA Finals. They have a good defensive team because Ben Simmons can play defense. They have the shooting with Seth, Joe Harris, and Kyrie and KD. They have the only thing I may be concerned about, but defense is rebounding is defense, so they'll be a good defensive team because Ben Simmons can get you boards, KD can get you boards. I don't know about Joe Harris or anybody else on their team. Is Blake Griffin still on their team?
I believe so. Yes.
He's coming off the bench. Anyway, I think they'll be in the NBA Finals.
You hear that?
I hear dead people. Bro, you all right?
No, it's a door. I think Sam's door is creaking, like it's trying to open, like it's opening slowly. Like, I don't know, it's making a weird sound, like a creaky door noise, and I didn't know if you could hear it or not.
So we gotta edit this out too, huh?
Gotta edit that out too. But yeah, so you say you think they're gonna be in the Eastern Conference Finals?
For sure.
I
think they're going to be in the finals, coming out the East.
Brooklyn Nets. Let's go look at their roster real quick, my boy. Roster. Oh my lord. Who did the fuck? Alright. Nobody got it like this. So this day roster right here, my guy. So let's see. Royce O'Neal, TJ Warren's on the team now.
Royce O'Neal can play defense.
Royce O'Neal's a good defender. TJ Warren is a serviceable small forward.
He went off in the bubble.
He did. Emma Sumner, David Duke Jr., KD, of course, Patty Mills.
Patty Mills is good.
He's a good point guard for sure.
Yeah, he's a good backup for sure.
Backup for sure to Kyrie.
Yep, Joe Harris is an assassin.
Kessler Edwards still there.
I don't know him.
Not me either. Day'Ron Sharp, pretty good. Marcus Aldridge is still there.
But he's old and has injury, some health issue.
Cam Thomas, Seth Curry still there.
Shooter.
Nick Claxton, really good too. Really good defender, really high riser.
Yeah. So, I mean.
They got a good team.
Yeah.
They got a good team for sure.
Just no true big man, but that's the NBA now.
No true big. Because they are probably going to play Nick Claxton. But he's 6'10"?
I saw where Ben Simmons was going to be their center, and they were going to small ball it.
Guard forward. I mean, see.
Yeah.
We're going to see. But they definitely have a good core team for sure.
For sure.
Definitely got a good core team for sure. So we'll see, man. But we can close the segment out. I think Book is going to be straight as long as, you know what I'm saying, everybody's cohesive, everybody has that chemistry. You know what I'm saying? The whole offseason was a saga for KD, but
every time he talks about getting traded, it's a saga. Or he goes into a free agency, it's a saga. Just because he's KD, he's one of the best players in the league. That's those headlines are going to follow him.
Yeah.
Whether he makes a decision.
Whether what now?
Whether he makes a decision to leave or not, especially after he decided to go to Golden State. Anytime he says, I want to do this, I don't want to do this anymore, it's gonna be, oh, here go KD again. God dog, KD, what's up?
But I think that same argument lies with LeBron too. But you know, it's a little bit, especially since the decision. But we'll talk about that later. But I mean, he just got to sit his ass down somewhere, boy. God, yeah, you got to chill. You got to chill, because the whole situation with KD now is when the whole narrative around him wanting to be traded is, okay, it must not be going the way he wanted to go there. Now he want to go to the best team in the league because of the way he left and went to Golden State. So he's got to sit his ass down somewhere, bro. Stick it out. If he ain't do what the old school contrarian courtside fans want you to do, and stick with a team for 17 years and just stay there. Even though it get hard and you don't win, just stay.
That ain't the NBA anymore. But anyway, I'm
being sarcastic, but you know.
Yeah. So we go from enhancing your team and sticking it out to enhancing your man and trying to stick it in.
That was a good segue. Good segue.
Lord forgive me.
That was a good segue.
Lord forgive me on that one.
But so
Lord forgive me on that one.
So what the line is referring to is there has been a spike recently in male physical enhancements to your body parts. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, it's always been an epidemic with the women, you know, with the BBLs and, you know what I'm saying, the boob jobs, the facelift, tummy tucks, and all of those things. Apparently, now dudes are doing them too. And I'm going to let D-Lo take this because he has the advertisement for it. So
no, I don't. What you mean? Hold on.
Not that. He has the information.
Okay. I was about to say the advertisement. Boy, you better get on somewhere.
He brought it to my attention. I mean, I went and got it done. No, I'm just playing. I ain't gonna. But he has the information that he can talk about because he brought it to my attention a couple of days ago. So I'm gonna let him talk about it a little bit.
So the American Society for Aesthetic Plastic Surgery is reporting that male BBLs, for y'all that don't know, are Brazilian butt lifts and genitalia enhancements are on the rise. Surprisingly, not with the population that you think. As far as males, not your older, out of shape men. It's more so being with the younger generation, where this spike of cosmetic surgeries are taking place. And as Sticks mentioned, it historically has been surgeries for women, but now it's turning to men, which sticks. Let's get into it, man. I don't know. I don't know if it's worse to be a man, and I want to preface this by saying, if do what makes you feel good, right? So if this surgery makes you feel good, by all means do it. I'm a person that I want people to feel good about themselves. I'm not going to judge you if whether you make this decision or the other decision. But I say all that because I don't know if it's worse to get your boy done or to get your ass done.
It's definitely worse to get your cheeks done, bro. Come on now.
Why? Come on now. Let's talk about
bro,
it, dog.
Like on some real though, like what dude is going around getting a BBL? You automatically gay at that point. Period.
Stop it.
I'm dissing, bro.
So you get your cheeks done. You already.
If you get a BBL as a dude, you're trying to attract niggas, bro. Period. And I'm talking anybody out there that got a BBL that's a dude. You trying to attract dudes. Dudes are, of course, men are. We're physical by nature. We like what we see. We're visual by nature, right? Yep. Even though I don't want to see a dude walking down the street with a fat ass, bro. Like I'm gonna be appalled. Be like, what the fuck? I'm going to look because I'm like, what is going on? Like, why is this dude walking down the street with a BBL? What's good with him? He's trying to attract niggas. He is either, I don't know. I would much. If it was me, if I had the choice, I'm not getting my cheeks done. I don't need my boy done. But if I was forced to do one or the other, I'm not getting the BBL.
Nah, Bo. I'm not getting either done.
I know that, but okay. Let's put it in perspective.
Yeah.
You are in a life or death situation.
Okay.
And they tell you the only way to save your life is to either get your ass done or your dick done. Which one you doing?
Well, okay. So it's a lot to that though, because
no. It's a surface level question. They gonna kill you unless you get one or the other. Are you saving your life getting your cheeks or your penis? Which one you doing?
You're going to be mad at me. I'm going to get my ass done. and let me explain, though. But let me explain. Okay, let me explain.
Ain't no way, bro. Ain't no way.
Wait. Let me explain, bro. You ran off before you even let me explain.
All right, go ahead. Tell me your logic, my boy.
All right, so if this is a life and death situation, I don't want nobody messing with my boy to save my life, because in the end, something to my boy could be messed up, and I could end up. I mean, either way, you could die from a situation. I don't know, man. That's a tough question.
Have you not seen the spike of what? First of all, BBLs have the highest mortality rate of women in the United States.
But yeah, man. So, it's just a tricky situation, man. That's all I'm saying. As far as life and death is concerned, I would get neither. Okay. If I had my preference, I would get neither. If life and death is concerned, life and death is concerned, then
you get a BBL.
I mean, because okay. Also, yes, BBLs have been high mortality rates. But you don't have to get like an outrageous BBL. You can just get a small one. Nobody really know that you got a daggone BBL. You know what I'm saying? Like, point
I'm gonna tell you right now, bro.
I'm listening.
If you was to get a BBL and not tell me, and I saw you after the fact, I would immediately know your cheeks is done, bro.
Pause, bro. Hold on.
I don't care. You're my brother, bro. I don't care. I don't care. You're my brother. I don't care.
But
from knowing you for the past over 2 decades, to now, I know you.
Yeah.
If you got a BBL, bro, I would immediately know, bro. And I would have to put you aside like, bro, did you get a procedure? Like, are you good?
There are... The BBLs have gotten really good now, because it used to be able to be like, oh yeah, she got her ass done. Now you can't really tell. Sometimes you can't even tell. I won't say all.
Because a lot of women now are being very, very modest with the BBL.
Yes, they're not going overboard with it.
Right. Women back in the day used to go stupid.
Yeah. Right.
dumb crazy. Like, what the fuck?
Right.
Yeah, but now see, if it was me, life or death, I'm getting my dick done.
Yeah,
But
but
like
what
you
if you
said,
can't get it? You can't get it right
you
no
ain't got
more.
to be.
What,
That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm gonna make
for a
sure.
man, our butt really don't, our ass really don't have any use.
But
Our boy
I'm
do
not
though.
trying. I'm trying to draw another type of attention, bro. I'm not trying to draw male attention to my cheeks, bro. Like, what?
Yeah,
That's
okay,
crazy.
but yeah, but I'm saying, what I'm saying is you have no real as a man, really women neither, but as a man you have no real use for that, for your ass to be right. There's nothing other than stuff coming out.
Facts. But there
There's
are some men who have stuff going in.
but okay, but
Not me, of
that's
course.
yeah, that's
And
their
I
preference.
wouldn't.
That's their
Right.
preference. But what I'm saying is we have more use for what's in front than what's in behind. So I'm not. I I've never had any issues with
I'm just
partners
gonna
that,
get it.
babe, 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 forgive me, babe. I've never had any issues with partners saying anything was wrong with that down
And
there.
neither have I.
And
Agreed.
so what I'm saying is trying not to ruin it, as far as like the potential of it not working properly anymore, or I have to get something done, or they botched that situation. Even life or death situation, I'm getting my cheeks done.
You getting the cheek. And you know what? Putting it like that, I can understand why you say that. I can understand why you say, but it's, bro. I would much rather have. I don't know, bro. It's a tough situation to have, because I'm on the side of getting my dick done, because I don't want anything you can physically see, bro. I can hide that,
Barely.
right?
Pause. But
True, because gray sweatpants
Yeah,
is some
you know
tight,
what I mean?
it's some slim fits.
Yeah,
You're right,
yeah.
but bro, like I wouldn't be able to fit in the jeans I have on right now if I had some cheeks, bro. I would have to buy women's jeans. I don't want to buy women's jeans.
Again, they don't have. It don't have to be anything
It
crazy.
don't have to be. I know it don't have to be crazy, but I don't have. Pause.
This
I don't have a small butt now.
Right.
I don't want extra cheeks.
Yeah, but this is this is because we have been trained from previous cosmetic butt surgeries, that and everything that we've seen in culture and with the butt surgeries or the ass, whatever, is that you got to go massive with it. You got to be outrageous.
Got to go stupid,
No,
right?
if you go slightly, get you a little fat put from here to wherever, to your ass, it could be a small percentage. It don't have to be nothing crazy.
I'm a slightly add an inch or two to my dick.
I mean, and honestly,
I'm slightly adding an inch.
And honestly,
that's all. I don't even need. I don't, like you said, I don't need it. But if it was life or death, I'm not getting my cheeks done, bro. I'm not getting the BBL.
Yeah. Nah,
And I'm gonna get an inch or two at it, and I'm gonna go to the sex industry.
holding your junk to get in there because you can't get right. But this is what the social media has done to us, man.
You see that these days too. That's crazy.
Yeah.
But no, it has.
This is what social media has done to us, though, man. Everything is vain, and you gotta look this way. You gotta present this way. You know, pictures are always online. You gotta always have this image of perfection or something like of the sort.
Always, man. Always, bro.
And that's just not who we are as human beings. Social media has broken us to make us believe that everything has to be in tip top shape. You have to be, but nobody wants to work.
The perfect body, the perfect situation, the perfect job. Yeah, everything has to be perfect. But it's only like that because people are they're personifying their life in a public light, whenever behind the scenes is probably just as shitty. I was watching something the other day on YouTube where there are literal studios where you can go to take pictures in what seems to be a private jet.
Yeah.
And you can post it all over social media at different times and make it sound like you're all over the world or you got this lavish lifestyle when you're really working at McDonald's. And a lot of that has to do with all of it is social media, and it ties right back to the cosmetic surgeries, bro. It's like a lot of women are getting those things done to build this online persona.
Mm-hmm. Or,
you know what I'm saying? Or trying to appease to the type of man that they want. There you go. So it's like, because we are visual and by nature. So it's like, but me, honestly, bro, like, I'm more of a If you got a good personality, you can talk to me. You look decent. I'm not worried about it.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
but
saying? I do want you to have some of those aesthetic features, but it's like if you ain't got like, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. I'm just different type of nigga.
I mean, we yes, we like looking at what we like looking at, and again, this is not a woman bashing podcast, but what we created all of this as men. We created all of this from the wanting women to look a certain way and them going to get cosmetic surgery to them in turn pushing all of playing on all of our egos and insecurities, saying that we don't have money, we don't have this and that, which they only, from what I've been told and what I see, they only say you got a small boy if you like piss them off. Usually, or they live that lifestyle. Usually they don't ever.
They done had some big boys.
You know what I mean? Usually they don't ever really go there because they know that's the ultimate. That's how you break a man.
That's the ultimate diss is you go for his piece.
Yeah. That's how you break a man. So, and you mess with his psyche. Going back to Manti Te'o, not about this situation, but the confidence thing. You mess with his confidence. Then when you talk about his boy is small. So we created all this as men. And I can't do either. And
how do you feel about? Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
It's just sad.
You can't do either because it's sad.
I can't do either, and it's just sad that our people, black, white, brown, blue, all that, are gravitating more towards I got to get surgery to look how I want to look rather than putting in the work. I mean, for your boy, I don't know what you could actually do.
You can't do shit for that, for real.
I mean,
they
say they're pills
and stuff
or
like that. Yeah.
But you squats for the butt and all that other stuff, you can lose weight. I mean, really, because the BBLs is transferring fat from one place to another.
Facts. But I mean, so how do you feel about, and keeping it on with the conversation, how do you feel about these folks who are getting these cosmetic surgeries done, saying that they're doing it for themselves and not for anyone else?
So, I mean, they probably are telling the truth about that. Because before you can put on for somebody else, you got to put on for yourself. Before you can love this is how it's supposed to be. Before you can love somebody else how they should be loved, you just got to love yourself. And if you don't love as a woman or as a man nowadays, if you don't love that your butt is not big enough, you're not going to feel confident in the relationship or in your communications with the opposite gender or whatever gender that you're trying to go for. So,
but in that same conversation though, Lo, wouldn't that say that you having to love yourself is loving you as you are though?
Some people can't.
Because it's coming to a conversation to me that just like we've been talking about this whole time, like the industry and social media and the media has taught us so much about what beauty standards are between men and women, and what women like about men, what men like about women. The mass media has brainwashed the public with all of this bullshit, right?
Yep.
When a lot of the time, not even the case. They're just trying to make it seem like this is what everybody wants. This is what people are looking for. So, but loving yourself means loving who you are, not altering your appearance to, because at that point I don't know. I guess from what you're saying, I don't know. It's just it's weird to me because it's like, bro, you gotta love who you are as you are, not love who you are after you put fat from your stomach in your ass. Now all of a sudden you love yourself. That's insecurity to me.
And what I'm trying to say. That in a perfect world, yes, you loving yourself is loving who you are as you are. We don't live in a perfect world, so people are gonna make do with what they have, and what they don't have, they're gonna go buy, and some people are gonna work for it. It is what it is. You can't. Yeah. In order for you to feel good about yourself, if you have to go buy or purchase something, and then you'll feel good about yourself, that's what most people are going to do. But what happens is that most people end up doing what they have to do, whether it's buying or whatever the case may be, and then they get it, and it's still they need something else to make themselves feel like they love it.
At that
or
point,
they love
at
themselves.
that point, it's a mental. At that point, it's a mental thing, or it's like it's becoming a sickness at that point.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? To me, in my eyes. But and we're not having this conversation to bash anybody who is thinking about or has had any body alterations.
No,
we love who you are. Make the decision with what you want to do with yourself. That's your decision. We don't have any say so about that. What we are saying is that you are beautiful,
for sure,
the way
100%.
you are. You don't need to get any of these alterations because of this is what you think men want, this is what you think women want, or this is you are beautiful as you are, and there is you can find love within yourself, within your own person, through your own what's what I'm looking for, through your own self-confidence.
Ooh, that boy put them bars out there.
Through your own self-confidence, you know what I'm saying? Because to me, I see beauty in everyone.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? You don't have to have a fat ass to be beautiful. You don't have to have a bunch of makeup on to be beautiful. You don't have to have to my guys, pause. You don't have to have 10 inches to be a man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But
average woman's
as long as you
thing down there is not even 4 inches. So to get to her G spot. So,
the average man and the average man across the world, or even, at least in America, is between 5 and 6.
Right.
You're good. You're good.
Right.
Trust me, my boy, you're good.
Yeah.
So it's like you don't have to have all of these things that society or social media or the mass media says that you have to be beautiful. You are beautiful. Period. I'm looking at y'all. You beautiful, dog. My boy, you beautiful. My girl, you beautiful.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Our boy,
what'd you say?
Our boy J. Cole said, "Love yourself and nobody else will." And what was the name of that song? Damn. Crooked Smile. Damn, why I couldn't think of that off the top of the head.
It
was Crooked Smile.
Or even Love Yours. Even in Love Yours too.
Yeah. No such thing as life that's better than yours.
No such thing.
Yeah.
So y'all are good, man. But yeah. So you still want to talk about this segment?
Nah, man. I think as a whole, we talked about a lot. Mainly Manti Te'o and that crazy situation with the girlfriend that doesn't exist. And then we went into KD and how he supposedly catfished the NBA or is ruining the NBA along with some other stars, LeBron and others. And then we finished with male genitalia enhancements or just cosmetic surgery in general. I think for a first episode or whatever this is going to be for us, I think it was a pretty good episode.
I think it was amazing, man. They did a good job with it.
And, bro, I appreciate you.
Man.
It's gonna be a long one.
It's
hopefully,
on this side,
for sure, dog. Yeah, it's gonna be a long one, but hopefully, if as we go along, this gets better and better, production gets better. We can bring on guests. We can have more amazing conversations and dive into sports, current events, media, and relationships. So it's gonna be a good journey between us, man. And this, like I said, this is a wonderful, amazing, outstanding first episode for us, man. We gonna put it out to the people. You know what I'm saying? And we're gonna keep this thing going, man. I think we have a lot of our opinion. I think our opinion is gonna be, if not funny, but valuable to a lot of people. Yeah,
I think it's going to cause a lot of conversation.
Yeah,
and that's what we want, man. We want everybody who's listening right now, if it's something in this video or in this podcast that you like, that you want to talk about, timestamp it in the comment box below so we can have a conversation about it. We're going to be reading comments, so let's get to it, man. Let's get to the conversations, man.
Yeah, 100, man. So that being said, part of my wisdom, I didn't say this at the beginning, but I meant to say this. I want to shout out my boy, 19 Keys. Let's we can put this at the beginning too, whatever. But how we got to the name Part of My Wisdom. So we went through all kinds of topics of what we were going to talk about for the podcast. We went and searched and made up all types of names, and they all was gone. Surprisingly, we came up with some crazy off the wall names. Gone. BECU investment service. Dang, and my man messing up the flow on the other side. My boy, 19 Keys. Right? Yeah. Hopefully we can get him on the podcast. But anyway, so we went through all of these different names, off the wall names, and they
stuff.
all was gone. And we was like, dang man, what we gonna do for a name? And just so happened, I was listening to not even 19 Keys. I was listening to my boys from Earn Your Leisure, Rashad and Troy, and Ian as well.
Shout out to them. Shout out to y'all too. Shout out to y'all too.
Y'all set the standard, bro, for real. Y'all set the standard
for a lot of people, man. Y'all was one of the reasons why we doing what we doing right now, man. We appreciate y'all.
We appreciate y'all 100%. But Rashad was talking, and Rashad was talking to, I think, Ian or Troy or something on one of the podcasts. And 19 Keys is notorious for flipping sayings and bringing positivity to them rather than negativity. And so Rashad was like, yeah, my boy 19 Keys, he always says, pardon my wisdom. And as soon as I heard that, in the state that we was in trying to find a podcast name, I was like, that's the podcast name right there. Pardon my wisdom.
That's the one.
Because the thing is, pardon my wisdom, not saying that we are all knowing and we are all wise. Everybody has their own wisdom about certain things. Everybody has their own knowledge about certain things. So if you are talking about a particular topic, you might not be on par with what the majority is saying, but you are on par to some degree. That's your wisdom. Pardon me. I'm sorry. I'm sorry you don't get my wisdom. Pardon my wisdom. I'm sorry. You know what I mean? So
for sure.
So long story short, man, shout out 19 Keys. I appreciate you always putting out the knowledge that you put out, and Earn Your Leisure. I appreciate y'all always putting y'all knowledge out, and hopefully we can live up to your saying. We're not going to talk about the topics that you talk about in the manner that you talk about, in the way that you speak about them, in the passion that you speak about them right now. But hopefully we can live up to what you do as a educator and as a presenter.
For sure. So
and with that being said,
appreciate it.
With that being said, me and my boy Sticks, first one's in the books.
First
my
one
man.
In the books, my boy.